be relevant. But
Right.
what you mentioned is like coming from the outside, in contrary to coming from within. So they know it's going to change. They know they need to do something, but in many cases they are not doing that. And other people from the outside, like Elon Musk and people from not within the system, are doing things differently, or startups. So how do you explain that? They know they have the resources, they have the money, they know what the market is doing, and they're still not changing.
Well, so this statement is too strong. They are changing. They are, I mean, just the fact that Eon, which is the company I'm working for, has a presence in Israel, and the presence in Israel is looking for innovative solutions to incorporate into the operating business of Eon. And many other utilities have presence in Israel. The Israel Electric Company has an innovation group for many years. They were, promoting startups. They were incubating startups. They were investing even in startups. So from the top level, it exists. Usually the top management supports it. The biggest challenge is not to support the innovation from inside, or even bring innovation from outside. The biggest challenge is to absorb it into the operation, to absorb it into the working ranks of the company. And if you bring something innovative to somebody who is, as I said, a middle management, usually top management supports. But if you bring it to somebody in the middle management, then you have a big challenge of convincing this manager, this person, to take the risk. And this is really the key word, to take the risk of trying something new, of adopting a new, innovative solution, and trying to see how it works within the system.
Yeah.
And once it does work, of course, it increases the profitability or the efficiency. It decreases waste, etc., etc. So it's really this is the biggest challenge to convince them to try it out.
And do you think it's a matter of their KPI, what they need to do, or is it a matter of teaching them to change and to accept risk and failures sometimes? What do you think is preventing them from doing that better?
I think it's both. I mean, you touched probably on the both points because they have the day-to-day activity. As I said before, they have to make sure, and in utility is it's much more important than many other places because you serve people, you serve millions of customers, and they all rely on you to get their energy constantly without interruptions. So this is number one concern of any manager, and the number two concern of any manager in utility is safety, not to have damage. I mean, not to risk employees more than necessary, and they're doing really dangerous stuff sometimes. They're climbing on poles and touching high voltage wires, hopefully without the power in them, etc. So the risk is there, and they have the day-to-day activity. And now, as you said, the risk is either that something fails in the system. So KPIs, they have to produce a certain growth every year, a certain level of new installations. I mean, they have a lot of work, and the work takes up 110% of their time. And now you're coming to them, or we are coming to them with a very nice startup from Israel, with two entrepreneurs with gleaming eyes, telling them about this beautiful solution, which is really beautiful. But they are, first of all, there is this cultural difference because, and it's not only if a startup is from Israel, it could be from Switzerland, it could be from Australia, and all from the US. Startup people are usually a whole different breed than those company executives who come to work with a white shirt and well dressed. The startup people are usually people with a mission. They are driven to fulfill their mission. They believe in the value that they bring to humanity, and they will not usually will not be convinced of any negative influences, even if they are there. And
Yeah.
so, but this is the nature, and this is also the beauty of it. The difficulty for a manager in a company is to accept that something that he thought would never work does work because of a certain innovation. And I've seen it many times. I came to managers in the company with very innovative solutions, various technologies. I will not mention them specifically, but and they said, "Yeah, I know this technology for many years. It doesn't work." So my plea to him was, If you think it doesn't work and these people can show you that it works, this is exactly the place where it should raise your curiosity and say, hey, maybe they have a breakthrough. Maybe something is here that they have found, or they invented, to use a simple word, that I didn't think about, and let's take a look at it. Let's embrace it. And in
Sure.
most cases, the conservatism rules, and it's not even a question of age. It's a question of mentality, or sometimes a question of age within the company. So if it's somebody who is new to the company or is changing position to another role and says, in this role I want to make a change, then he is more open to embrace innovation.
Yeah. What you said about the difference between an entrepreneur and someone who's working as an employee for years in the same company, it's like two very different way of thinking, and it collides, and they need each other. The entrepreneurs need